Okay, guys, we're going to head down south. Riccarton got a great card of racing. We want to start in race number 5, and that's the Berkeley Stud Champagne Stakes. Steve, run us through this for the 2-year-olds. Oh, no, is it for the 2-year-olds? Of course it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, Defiant. I'm just going to bring it up here. Was it race 5?
Number 5.
So I can see my fluctuations here. You can see it there, screen, Defiant. Clear fave. $2.80 we posted on Wednesday. Been backed into $2.30. Defiant, the daughter by Tavistock. This is dramatic. $3.80 out of turn to $4. Then there's a separation headed by Redmond. Just brings a different form line. 8 out of point to 9. Turf War double figures 11. Looking at some of these horses in the middle market, a little bit of specking around Mululaba. Yes.
Yeah.
So you pronounce it. 18 out of 21, firm back into 16. May Wecker, 16 out of a couple of turns to $18. The prices were a little bit nervous around the 10, knowing that it's a well-bred out of that Terry Ray stable, but a little bit soft, 16 out to 18. But obviously they're very keen at the point end of the market, headed by number 6 in Defiant.
Making you work here, Mululaba, Mary Wecker, Tapple Doodle Doo. Yeah, there's a few.
Good luck, Matt Cross.
A few tongue twisters here, but look, Defiant BP, the last 2 wins have been very good. Looks the obvious form, but we know these 2-year-olds can improve at short notice, don't we?
Yeah, certainly, and I think maybe the improver of what we saw from the last meeting is the second favourite, and This Is Dramatic. Of course, we saw the runner take its place in a Karaka Million, and that was over 1,000 metres and goes up to 1,200 metres, and that's going to be a big help for that horse. But Defiant just brings, look, the right form. Look, she's a daughter of Tavistock. She's won her last 2. She was brilliant last time to the races. Who to say that extra 200 metres isn't going to be an issue for the horse? So with how the horse went off a wide gate and put them away by 2.5 lengths, look, she is the one to beat, and that's why she is the favourite in the race. I'm guessing we need to probably get to the man that covers the South Island form thoroughly, and that is Aidan Rodley. Aidan, how do you see this one?
Yeah, I'm clearly with Defiant. She's been so good in those last 2. Both times she's been caught 3 wide on speed, but been able to kick. Obviously, the step up to 1,200 metres is a different dynamic, but she's run the quickest last 8, 6, 4 and 2 in both of those last 2 races. And that last start race at Riccarton was, I know we lost a horse. I think we had 4 late scratchings in the race, including Guitar Man, who I thought was probably the overs in this Champagne Stakes as well. But her performance was just top-notch, and she was very good the start before. She chased home Turf War, who's a rival this weekend in the debut second, but she'd be pretty competitive even in that race at Tarapa, I reckon, this weekend, Defiant. So she's really hard to beat here. It's, again, not an easy draw for Rohamadu to contend with, but shoot racing's never too much of an issue. And that's hence why I think why This Is Dramatic isn't too long again. I agree the extra 200 metres helps. This Is Dramatic, who was really strongly backed in that last race, the NZB insurance race, and is strongly respected in this market again as well, but very, very Defiant.
Okay, well, how do you roll up that Riverton form, Aidan? Because there's a few coming out of a couple of Riverton races there. Redmond, Kikimora, Mululaba, I'll get it right in the end, and Tapple Doodle Doo. What about this Riverton 2-year-old form?
I think you go Mululaba, isn't it? With that horse.
Mululaba, very good, yeah.
Mululaba, I think.
Yeah, very good.
Isn't it? Yeah. Anyhow, so you take a line through the previous run from Redmond when the horse was 4th at Riccarton. That was in behind Defiant that day when fairly well back, but Kikimora had run second day, and all the money at Riverton was on Redmond, who started like a $2.60 favourite despite having run 4th and being fairly well beaten by Kikimora. And Kikimora got bad, a horrid trip down there, but there was just no money for the horse. Mululaba, I thought, ran pretty well, and there was one other who was in that race as well who ran 3rd. I'm just trying, or must have been run 4th actually, which was Tapple Doodle Doo, of course, who was fair just in behind them. You got to respect Redmond because the on the clock was very good as well. Despite doing it from the front and having an advantage that way, still ran the quickest 800, 600, 400, 200 as well. But then you've got to bring it back to that previous form line of Defiant, and probably just needs to improve a little bit too much. So I've got him at 5th selection in this race, just in behind the top 4. Expect him to run well and expect him to be a key component in the speed map as well. But I really like Defiant I think she's progressive. She would measure up in the north for mine. I think she can be a horse who can go on and be a 1,600-metre horse in the spring as well.
Let's look at the form, Steve. The Defiant, this is dramatic form ahead of perhaps the Riverton stuff. But yeah, she was pretty impressive, wasn't she, Defiant?
Yes, she was. And there's no dramas. 1,200. Look at the pedigree by Tavistock out of a Zavabeel mare. Her best work was the last furlong, breaking 12 seconds, suggesting 1,200. No dramas with the favourite. This is dramatic. You go back to her debut win over the hill here at Taraniko. It was a fantastic figure, a real strong figure, which marked her as a good horse, and that's why the camp took her to Ellerslie in the Karaka Million. Just things didn't work out. She missed the start. First time right-handed at HQ. Just put a line through that performance. Went back to the CD. Trentham performance was okay, and then headed down to Riccarton and ran second to the current fave. And yeah, it was a bit unlucky. I don't think it would have beaten Defiant, but deserves to be clearly in that second line. This is dramatic, but if it can replicate anything it produced at Tahuraniko, it's right in this race. It has regressed slightly in its last 2 to 3 runs on the back of its first up or debut win, but I just want to respect that a little bit. And Redmond, as Aidan mentioned, was pretty good on the clock, albeit a different form line here at Riverton. It's hard horse to knock. The figure was right up to what Defiant produced at Riccarton last start. So you just got to bring that form to Riccarton, where it hasn't raced it has raced in its couple of starts leading into its win at Riverton. But look, you go back 2 starts ago, it was clearly beaten by Defiant. So it's got to improve there. But just on its figure alone, in isolation at Riverton, it's right up to what Defiant produced last start. So no knock there. But yeah, Defiant looks to be well backed and has been 280 into 230.
Yeah, okay. BP, where did you settle on the end in the 2-year-old Champagne?
Look, the race last time to the races when these horses met, Defiant and This Is Dramatic, there was, look, a key point of the race. And as Stephen said, I don't think This Is Dramatic would have still beaten Defiant, but I think the margin would have been a lot closer. There was a key point in the race where I think the runner actually got shunted by the stablemate who's finished into 3rd position, but just looking to try and pierce between horses, got stopped in its ground and then had to go again. So it was a really good run from This Is Dramatic. So extra 200 metres is going to be ideal, and she'll be finishing strong like she did in that race at Tahuraniko. So she's a great play for maybe a top 2 bet. If you are really keen on Defiant and you believe the horse can win, instead of maybe taking the place bet, you could look at maybe taking the top 2 option. And if I quickly try and, I haven't got it in front of me, I'm not that quick in the moment, but that might be a bet if you're looking to try and play something different in the race.
Yeah, okay. Aidan, where did you sort of settle? We haven't talked about Mary Wecker. How about those trials?
Yeah, the trials were good. Chased home Turf War, who's a race rival, though, at Ashburton, was beaten 3.5 lengths, was a narrow trial winner prior, so does improve a little bit. Turf War was an interesting runner because just went probably a little bit too hard in the Defiant. This is Dramatic Chavot race last time out. I see they've put concussion plates on. A lot of trainers that we spoke to last time after that meeting said it was really firm. It was quite a hard track. So how the 2-year-olds have come through it, some of them been on water walkers and things since. But Turf War was good on debut, beat home Defiant. So you've got to have respect about it, especially if the tempo is not so hard. I've got the horse in the trail this time round, so maybe just a better chance from there. Guitar Man's the one I thought at a big price was worth considering. Did run a really good 3rd on debut. That was in behind Defiant and Kikimora. Then was late crashed after getting away from the jockey and all the attendants twice at the barriers last time out, and sent back to the trials and won that trial by 3 lengths on the poly track. I thought was the leader in the race, and from there at $14, some sort of chance. But everything points to Defiant here. I just think she's superior, and I think she could be something pretty special. So, yeah, I've got her clearly on top, and she's a win bet in the race for mine.
Yeah, very good. $2.38, and happy to take that. Steve, is that where you'd land here, Defiant in the end, or you think you'd have a little go at This Is Dramatic?
No. I'd be leaving the race alone myself. But look, I think it's all about prices, and Defiant's getting to a price where I think she's just a little bit skinny at 230. I think she probably starts between 230 and original price 280, but that remains to be seen. But yeah, nice race, and as Aidan touched on, I think 1 or 2 could bounce out of this race and be more than competitive as 3-year-olds, whether they come up the north or let the Northerners come down to Christchurch and target the 1,000, 2,000 guineas and be a good representation to the South Island trainers.
Okay, very good. The boys pretty keen on the favourite Defiant there in the Champagne Stakes.